Live. That's the sound, that's the notification we want. I'm gonna turn my phone volume off so that I don't have random notifications. Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Brotherland Live, where we have fun on the Brotherland server and make crazy contraptions and other things that go on in our lives. Here, let me move. There we go. There we are. We're moving forwards and backwards. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here to join me. Okay, we gotta change the camera angle. There we go. So welcome back. We are back here live. A little bit later than usual for the live stream, but that's because we had IRL stuff that we had to deal with today, which was actually really good. Really fantastic. I'm not going through indigestion, but I just ate, so I'm suffering through a bit of that. Okay, let me just catch you guys up on what's going on. So what we got is that we are going to do, let me see if that changed it. It didn't change it. Maybe it did. I don't know. Here, we'll adjust. I'm trying to do everything correctly this time. Give me a second. I want to make sure that this is set up and that you guys aren't losing me or not getting enough of... Okay, so it did change. Okay. As you may or may not be aware, last week I had some issues with my internet and things near the end of the live stream. I thought that could have been because of... Okay, ooh. Okay, good thing it was in water. Just thought it could be because of some connectivity issues with the internet here where I'm at. It seems that Sunday mornings are the best time, but this Sunday morning I was a bit busier than normal. And so hopefully, maybe in the Sunday night, it is a little bit better. But we shall see, because maybe all the other students around are also trying to get on and do that. No, it looks fine here. Let me check this. Make sure that everything's okay. It says it's not receiving enough video, but it should be receiving enough video. Maybe... Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, send me a little thing in chat if everything's okay. If not, then we will make do with what we can, and then eventually, here in the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to transition and get to a better place. So, let me just talk you through what's going on here. This week, I wanted to focus on something called a raid farm. Interesting. Well, we're gonna see if that works or if that doesn't work. I'm gonna keep plugging away until I figure out what's going on here. This is totally fine. Everything's fine over here, so what's going on over here? Okay, we have a chat that says, I see everything. Excellent. Then we're gonna keep going and pretend everything's okay until something's not okay. So just let me know if something's not okay, and then maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't. Okay, so then let's do that. So to wrap up, what do we not wrap up, because we just started. What we're doing, we are working on a raid farm. Raid farms are important because they get totems of undying, and I kind of wanted to do that on camera, since that seems like a pretty good, mindless, easy to talk through task. So we will see how that goes. I'm working on flattening out an area with some dirt, and then I've got a whole chest of leaves that I'm going to put down to despawnify the area. That's not a real word. Don't quote me on that. Yes, so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna despawnify an area and then get everything moving back to where it should be. I will show you, and I will give you not a sneak peek. I will give you an idea of the mechanics. Let me just double check this real quick. We should be getting, yes, maybe we'll need some more, but I think I'll be able to restock that if I need to. Okay, so let's go on a journey, shall we? I'll show you the area that we're working on. Last time I tried to do this, so I tried to prep this, right? And flew into an area that was not loaded, and it was quite bad. Other news as well, I bought a much better headset. So it's got the streamer's dream, right? It's a headphones with a microphone attached to it. The problem was, the issue therein lied, that it's not the highest of high-end microphones and headphones, so there's just this constant noise, like this constant humming that's just, and so it's trying to pick up what I'm saying with my mic, and the problem is that it's just not the best audio quality. So I was deciding, I was like, you know what, I don't want to sacrifice audio quality. Let me just grab the better microphone. So I'm trying to position it better so that it sounds good. Although I do have a headset and it does have the microphone, it's just not where I would want it to be. All right, let me walk you guys through this. So we've got these two shulker boxes full of oak leaves and full of dirt. And the plan is we've got this setup going over here. I don't know if I've ever talked about this. I think I have, but let me recap real quick for you. So what we got over here is we've got a what's it called? A pillager outpost. That's what they're called. They're called pillager outposts. And what they do is there's a little trident killer that we can switch on and off. There it is. It's on. Now it's off. But what it does is it spawns these pillagers, and once you kill them, you'll be able to activate. Oh, there's a creeper. Look at that. He's blending in over there. They spawn these the pillagers, and when you kill pillagers, you get the bad omen effect. If it's the captain of the raid. If you kill him, you get a bad omen effect, and then it follows you until you get to a village, and then once you're in a village, it will actually trigger a raid. And the raids are excellent because they give you a ton of great, nice loot that you can use in the future. I'm going to set down a trash chest because trash chests are fantastic. There we go. Throw that in there. So, to this building over here to the left spawns the conditions for the raid. The building on the right is my makeshift village. There's one villager with a bed, and he is very happy. And so they will be attracted to him, fall into place, and there's another trident killer in there, and they die. Which gets you amazing loot. You'll get, what do you get? Everything's stored. And I think those are all smelted. So you get very good loot for this type of farm. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna flatten this out. Looking up the mechanics for Bedrock, there's a lot that goes on. Basically, there's a 64 by 64 circle that completely encompasses this center point. So the raid can happen anywhere from 64 blocks in either direction in a radius of circle. In a circle. So what we've got going on is that I've marked it out. I think it's over here. Yes, this should be 64 blocks away, but we will double check that. And so what I'm going to try to do is to force the conditions onto one central area so that we can make this a more efficient farm. But to do that, we've got to make sure that we set up the entire platform to be exactly what it needs to be. Thus, the dirt, and thus, the grass. So, without further ado, let's get started and let's do that. Man, it has been a week. It has been a week and a half. It has been very, very busy IRL over here where I'm at. But it's been kind of that good kind of busy, you know? Where it's just, you get your mind off of it, you get so absorbed in what you're doing that you kind of forget the world around you. So that's always really nice to kind of come out of and be able to refresh and say, okay, time to get back into business, or time to do what I need to do. So that's been really nice. Also, if you haven't checked it out, there is, oh, look at that. I'm not even touching my controller and it's just gliding backwards. If you haven't checked it out, there is a video posted for the Halloween videos in terms of the events that happened in Animal Crossing and Minecraft Dungeons. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. It's a fun little activity that I did myself of just different Halloween events and different commercials that I thought they would run if they were trying to attract viewers who weren't already doing the Halloween event. I'm thinking about doing more videos like that. So one of my next plans is to do some Hollow Knight videos. I don't know what I want to do. I kind of want to go kooky and do like like an office version of something, maybe like a PSA announcement, and use that game engine to make the video. We'll see. Leave a comment if you have a game that you'd like me to either play or I guess shoot it in the chat and not leave a comment. I mean, same thing. Yeah, let me know if there's some sort of game that you're thinking that's on the Switch that would be interesting to cover / pull material from. I'm also thinking about maybe doing some walkthroughs, playthroughs, guides, tips, tricks for different things, because that seems to be what people want to see anyways. So anyways, let me know about that. Yeah, otherwise, man, it's been a busy last couple of days. I mentioned in the last stream, I am I guess not a working actor, I'm a collegiate actor, so I work on roles and stuff, and it's been a very not busy. I mean, we just finished our first weekend of shows, and it was actually really good relatively good turnout for the situations that we're in the current climate, in the current worldwide pandemic. And it was a really good turnout. People came out to see it. People enjoyed it. We had some ups and downs, but it was pretty good, and that's what I'm coming out of. And that's why Sunday night as opposed to Sunday afternoon, just because I was busy doing what I love and doing the performances. So that's me. Yeah, just very, very interesting to see that. Actually had a interview. I need to see if that's gonna be up, but got interviewed today for that work in that show, and I'm very excited to see what they choose to cut from it, or how they choose to portray it. But kind of interesting to talk about, you know, what does the arts look like at this time in the worldwide pandemic? You know, how do you perform, or do you perform, or is that even something that you should consider doing right now in the time that we're doing? Oh, look at that. Excellent status on the stream. That's the words I want to see. I don't want to see these poor words. Poor means bad, and I don't want to be bad. I want it to be excellent so that everyone can see it in real time. I was saying, yes, just a really interesting conversation to have about, you know, do you do theater right now? Do you do kind of in-person events that are in person? Not to polarize, again, I'm not, right now this is only going out to like 2-3 people, 4, 5, maybe 10 max, so the opinions can't be too polarizing. But if this were going out to something much, okay, I'm out of dirt, gotta go get that. If they were going out to a much bigger audience with more diversified views, yeah, maybe that would be more polarizing and more, not costly, but I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of the word. Risque. Let's do that one. Risque is a good word. I'm just going to take all of this. This is all dirt that I was going to use for something else, but we're going to do it on this one and see how this works. Yeah. So it's a very interesting discussion that we're kind of all having in this world that we're living in about, you know, how do you do that in the pandemic. I actually had a Facebook comment recently about, you know, kind of more of the sticklers of the entire process. You know, people who are purists and saying, well, you know, if you're gonna do it, then you better do it right, and if you're not gonna do it exactly the way it's intended, what's the point of doing anything at all? And to that, I would say that's kind of the discovery that you make on your own. You know, why not try to do something and follow these guidelines? Why not try to create art even with some of these more pressing concerns? You know, if you want to do a show where you cannot be, you know, closer than 6 feet on stage, that comes up with its own challenges, and that's kind of the world that we live in at the moment. So why not make the best of it and see where it takes you, as opposed to, you know, griping and moaning and saying, well, no, it should only be this one way, and if you're not doing it this one way, then are you gonna help? Dude, come over here. You want to help? You're not gonna. Okay, well, he's gonna put that down where he wants. Yeah. So why limit that? Why not see, you know, follow the rules, do the not follow the rules, but follow the guidelines, you know, stay safe, and then also see where that can take you. I'm of that opinion. It's very important to me, and I'm glad that we're performing still, and we're, you know, taking the necessary guidelines to do that. But it comes with its own challenges. I mean, we have understudies for every single performer on stage has an understudy that is covering their roles just in case something were to happen to one of the characters and they would get sick. That's just the reality that we have to live in. Let me check. Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm trying to fix things in stream that have happened the last couple of weeks, which have been bugging me. You know, in review of the stream, because I'm trying to engage and create content, and I'm also trying to maintain all these things, right? So you're keeping one eye glued on the screen, one eye glued on the chat, figuring out what's going on, what's what. And I noticed when I was rewatching the live stream last week, and the week before that too, that I would have this music playing in the background, but the title of the music would never change. And that's a bit of an issue, especially if you're trying to stream and you're trying to give credit to where credit needs to be given, and your music is not actually showing the correct track that's playing. And I looked back and it's like it's stuck on one track for, you know, a solid hour of the stream. And I was like, oh, that's not good. It's only when I'm like, oh, hey, that's a good song, and then I'll open what's it called, Spotify, and look at the track, and then it will update, and then I close it and continue looking at the performance of the stream, and it just stays frozen on that track, even though the music definitely changes. So we've fixed that. We've also fixed there will be no notifications, so now there will be no little pop-up saying, oh, hey, this person's online, or this person's doing that. Got rid of that. That's another step in the right direction. It's a learning curve. We're going through a learning curve, and we're doing the best that we can. I think that's the only real updates from the stream. Trying to think what else. It looks like it's buffering. I want to make sure that everything's still good. Could be just... Oh no. Okay, everything's great. Yeah, so we're just trekking along, trying to make the best of what we can. What else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, another profound point. Yes, so there should be an interview somewhere eventually with the work that I've done. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, sheep. You can't get in my way when I'm placing dirt. So that should be coming out soon. Probably won't share it on the channel just because I want to keep a little bit of anonymity for it all. But very exciting developments. Yeah, man, this last week has been a wild ride for everybody involved. I mean, the people that I know that are watching the stream, it's been a crazy week. We've had the in the US, we've had the elections for the 46th president-elect, which has been unlike anything we've ever seen, right? So we've got we had one. I mean, we didn't know the candidacy results until yesterday, if I'm correctly. It was on Saturday that we got the results finally, the back results, and it's just been, oh man, it's been a stressful week. Usually in the US, the elections are done and concluded by Tuesday night, because it happens on Tuesday, or whatever November 3rd is. Happens then, and then you get the results that night. Not this year. This year it was, drawn out for a week, and then you can kind of tell everyone's on edge, or everyone's, not 100% involved. Like it's like a constant buzz in the background, like feedback from a mic. It's a constant feedback, like the mic that I bought that has just a constant little hiss in the background. That's what this week felt like. It's okay, it's there in the background, but it's just not very pleasant to constantly hear in the background. So that's what we had this week, which has kind of put a lot of people on edge, or on... I mean, just think about that. Think if you constantly had this buzzing in the back of your head. Now, if you do, you might want to go see a doctor. If you're actually getting this constant buzz in the background of your life, that might be a legit problem that you need to go see. But it's just like that emotional buzz in the background that is very draining, but we get through it and we find outlets like placing down dirt in a very large square, or playing a game while listening to lo-fi, or like you, doing whatever you're doing and having a background voice in the background just talking to you and just, you know, trying to chill out and trying to have a good Sunday night. That's what we got. That's what we're doing. So, safe place to discuss, safe place to just relax and unwind and just do whatever you need to do. That's actually one of my favorite things about Minecraft, is that I just love being able to turn off and just know that I've got to do this thing, and it's kind of almost like a background task. Like, I like that this game is not so in depth and so demanding for your attention, that it can be just kind of that you can be just kind of done in the background. Ah, yes, good. I haven't decided that. There's a in chat comment of being chill. I haven't decided yet. You know, that's just one of those things. I haven't decided if I'm gonna curse on stream. I don't mark my videos safe for kids just because of there's a lot of laws and, you know, guidelines and blah 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 that goes in it. But man, I feel you. It's a good Sunday night, and it's a good time to just relax. It's a good time to just chill, to just be super chill. Let me put that there. There we go. So I'm with you. And hopefully this just continues to do that. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep it all this level because I don't want to raise anything higher than that. So maybe we can go see, what is this, elevation 68? Yeah, just shy of 69. Ha ha ha. Yeah, we'll keep it at 68 then, and then we'll just raise everything else up. That was all this is all the dirt I have. So I'm just gonna. Well, sir, you're freaking chilled. And that's amazing. That's fantastic. I'm with you 100%. I'm there too. I'm just, it's nice to breathe. You know? It's nice. Okay, where's this other line? So I need to make sure this, and we're gonna go to 68. Okay, so that's how far. Oh, I got 3 layers. Oof. Oofda. Okay. Well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna deforest. We're just gonna create a platform, and then we're gonna move from there. Just a nice time. The weather here has been gorgeous. I feel like there's something ironic about talking about the weather, you know? Like, that's the #1 discussion of small talk is, oh, how's the weather? Or, oh, how's that? And it's just, every single time, unironically, I laugh at myself for bringing up the weather, but it's one of the easiest topics to talk about. It was really nice this week. This weather has been just gorgeous. The only problem is that the show that I'm in requires some more woolen apparel, and that is just very, very hot when your weather is nice and sunny and warm and breezy, and then this weather is just, you know, murder for really thick costumes and really stuff like that. It's just, whew. It was torturous, but on the same time, you know, you walk outside at night after you're done with the show, and you just be able to walk out in the nice warm weather, and it's not cold. Ah, great, fantastic. Really enjoy that. We're gonna do this because I want to save on leaves, because I think we're gonna need a lot of leaves, because the mechanics say that I think in Bedrock they can spawn on everything. So I was gonna originally do carpets, but because carpets are, you know, blocks that will not spawn creatures on them, but I think in Bedrock it changes a little bit, and it can only be if you place leaves down, then they won't spawn on leaves, but if you place anything else down, then it will spawn on that. So we're just gonna, you know, as we remove these trees, we're gonna take these leaves and store them in the box for the future use, which will be nice. Man, there was a great album recommended to me by a friend in terms of going back to being chill. there was a great album. It was like meditation. I think it's on Spotify, Meditation 2020, and it's just really, it's a really good, just low energy, you know, get focused, get what you need done, and it's really good. I mean, it's just one of those things that just focuses your energies and focuses your mind on what you're doing, and you're golden. So I'm trying to avoid as many copy strikes as I can, so I'm trying, not like it matters right now, because it's not about making money, it's about making content that I enjoy. And that's another one of those in the background of, you know, why this channel, why my Minecraft, why live streams. And this is just more of the idea. I follow Exumavoid, who is a big Minecraft YouTuber, live streams 2-3 times a week, and he was just, you know, chatting on his live stream and, you know, talking about, you know, content creation, or, you know, doing that, or doing what they do on their Livecraft, their server. And it's, you know, he brought up an excellent point. You know, do what you do because you love to do it, not because you're trying to, you know, become famous. This is not about finances or money for me. Like, I'm not on here to, I mean, again, eventually the goal is, of course, always to make money. That's what I think, that's what everyone is trying to do all the time anyways. But that's not the, okay, I'm gonna put a torch down here so I know it's this thing, and then we're gonna remove a little bit of that so we know that this is where, yeah, okay, that's gonna be better. I mean, yeah, eventually that's the goal, but that's not why you should do it, because if you do it for the wrong reasons, you're not actually going to be successful, or you're not going to be fulfilled. You're going to feel like you're going to have a quota. So this is not at all for trying to make money or trying to do all of that. It's specifically only for just trying to make quality content that people can enjoy. Do I work through the night? No, I don't think I need to. I think I'm going to go back to the bed. So it just keeps going back in and out of excellent and poor. And I'm sure you guys feel that, of like, oh, it's buffering. And then you chalk it up, oh, my internet must be bad. Nope, my internet's bad. That's why, if you got buffering, blame it on my internet. I'll take it. I will take the blow. Let's take all of these back. There we go. Okie doke. Oh, look at that. This is a perfect song to go to bed to. Good night, sweet world. I'm also really interested in getting... Sorry, I'm going to take a drink. I've been talking all day with the show and now live streaming, so I need to wet the whistle. I'm also really interested in getting some more... what was I thinking? Indie games. I've been eyeing what's it called, Spiritfarer, and I've heard nothing but great things, and have seen a friend of mine play through it, and it looks fantastic. It looks really good. It looks like a solid game to just kind of relax on, kind of like Animal Crossing, but in its own respect, in its own right. So I'm curious to see what that looks like, and I'm hoping that it will be worth the investment in the future. Okay, so this is the end of that line. We're just gonna expand this, or we're gonna clean this up just a hair. That's strange. Should have cleaned it up. Yes, so Spiritfarer. Sorry, I got super focused on this thing. I'm trying to hear if that's feedback from the mic or if that's feedback from the music. That's a problem with some of these lo-fi tracks. Sometimes they'll incorporate like naturalistic sounds to kind of get you immersed. But there was one that I had that was like kind of focused on like a cityscape sound, and it sounded like there was, you know, trucks honking. And I swear, when I was, you know, testing the audio for the live stream, I was like, is something going on? Am I hearing trucks in the background? Like, because traffic picked up all of a sudden? Nope, just a lo-fi track trying to take advantage of some natural soundscapes. It's like, okay, all right. Here I thought I was going crazy. Okay, and then we'll pop this guy off. Just do the border. We'll do the border so we know where we're going. Ugh. But I honestly love lo-fi tracks. Best decision. And I can't remember who introduced me to it. But like lo-fi has low-key changed my life, and it's been fantastic. No, it's been really good because it's just one of those nice things to listen to. That makes it a lot easier. Okay, what in the world are these floating trees doing? I talked about it on the last live stream, and then based on some of the feedback I got from this last videos of the promotionary Halloween commercials. I wanted to do this back in the day. It was like 3 years ago now. No, yeah, basically 2-3 years ago. I had this idea for a little series that I wanted to do, which was playing the original Pikmin and, you know, narrating through it in like Bear Grylls style. You know, like, oh right, here we go, we're gonna go through, you know, we're surviving in the wild. And I think I recorded one episode of it, and it never aired because, you know, my previous YouTube endeavors did not go so well. But I'm thinking about doing that with this new Pikmin 3, now that we've got it for the Switch, and that's what I use. I would love to revisit that and to create almost like a bear. What are you doing? I don't have any bones for you. I'm just gonna bury you in dirt. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to hear that. That was... I'm on a task. I'm on a mission. I gotta finish that. Anyways, yes, so that was what I was saying with the Pikmin 3. I'd love to do a little Bear Grylls style promotionary video, or even like quick recaps of how, you know, funny, useless tips on how to play Pikmin 3 and how to survive in the wild forests of what Pikmin 3 is. I think that would be fun, and I want to make it for myself. So I might just do that once that disposable income increases enough to get a $60 game. That's the thing, is that I love games and I'm willing to wait for them to price drop just because I've already played that game. You know, I've already played Pikmin 3 and I don't want to drop another $60 on a game that is just reskinned for the device that I'm on. It's just one of those things that I'd love to do it, but I cannot justify in my mind wanting to spend that not exorbitant, I mean, yes, $60 is not that much, but it's also a lot. It's both a lot and not much, depending on, you know, what angle you're looking at. But it's just one of those things that I cannot justify in my mind doing $60 just for, you know, a fun little video that I wanted to do because I like to make content, you know. So that's the dilemma that I have, but eventually that will come out and that will be used. Next weekend I think is going to be the same situation because we're doing the show again next weekend. So this will probably be another late night live stream next week. But for the most part, I don't know. I guess that's not on me. I can adapt depending on, you know, 2 Sundays from now we'll be a little bit more open. So I think depending on what works for the viewers, when you are active or when you want to view it, you should let me know, because then I can kind of gear my schedule around that and give you an opportunity to tune in if you want to tune in. Oh man. I also really want to work on some design work for the Nether Hub, because that's what I need to get that done. I want a lot of projects that start and then never finish, you know? And I don't know if I think that's just a common thing. You know, you always start all these ambitious projects that you're like, okay, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And a lot of them just end up being just half finished, or not all the way. And that can work sometimes, but there's a lot more that sometimes it's bad. Sometimes, if you don't finish that project, then you'll never come back to it. Which is one of the things that people say about gap years, right? For American universities. Again, I'm trying to sound all smart by, not smart, but pretending like I have a live stream to millions and millions of people all over the world. Just trying to sound professional. No, that's one of the things, what was it saying? Gap years. That's what they say about gap years. It's like, oh, hey, finish college in one setting. If you're gonna go, and if you're not gonna finish it, then don't pretend to yourself by saying, hey, I'm gonna go get a gap year, because most likely, statistically, you will not actually come back to it, which is fine. There's nothing, kind of more on the lines of our reality. Less and less jobs need, really solid degrees in specific things. They just need to know that you're educated. And sometimes an associate's degree is all that you're going to need for higher work or higher education. I want to probably remove this tree. Yeah, we'll remove it. But you really don't need, a master's degree if you're going out or doing that. Not to discourage you from getting a degree if that's what you're doing. I mean, I'm getting a degree. I'm getting a bachelor's degree in theatrical acting. So, again, not necessarily the usefulness of all degrees, but it's something I love doing and something I want to keep doing. So why not go get a degree in it? And then if they ask if I have a degree, I'd say yes. And if they ask what in, then I can, talk about acting and how it can pertain to whatever job I'm applying for. So that's in terms of projects, and I'm trying to also do a better job at actually finishing the topics that I start talking about. It's just one of those things of, finishing projects and driving them through completion is hard, but it's one of those things that sometimes if you don't do it the first time, oh man, I lost that leaf, you won't come back to it. And that's that's sad, but I think that's one of those things that we just do as humans. We let it slip out of our minds, and then we forget about it. I wanted to do, for the first YouTube company that I was a part of, wanted to make these shirts, right, with our company logo and all of the things that we were going to do on it. We're going to have names on the back of them, and we decided to oh, you know what, let's not go to a company and do it, but let's screen print them ourselves. So we did that, and we bought all the components, bought all the shirts, cut out the stencils, and then something happened and we didn't actually get around to it. And then, we kept reminding each other oh yeah, we got to do that. And then eventually it was moved to a drawer, and we completely forgot about it. Just something that just slipped out of everyone's mind, and there was, I think they're still in that same drawer wherever it is, and they're just sitting in there. So again, it's just one of those out of sight, out of mind, and you just move on, and it never comes to fruition, which is, sad. I would love to have those shirts, but it's, one of those low risk things that doesn't actually end up affecting you too much in the long run. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on my tools just so they don't break, and it's nighttime. So that means it's time to go to bed. Day-night cycles are, so that's what, 30 minutes already? How long are we into this live stream already? Oh, not too bad. Yeah, we're about 30, 40 minutes in. We're gonna see how the stream connection goes. Oh, there's a big button. There's a big numbers in the corner of my screen that tells me how long I've been live, and I'm just completely oblivious. Just a blonde. Had a total blonde moment. Although that's I guess not an accurate not a stereotype, but not a perfect joke. Ooh, look at that. That's a drider. That, my friends, is a drider. That is one of the rare mobs. And now it's a no rider? A no rider? I don't know. Look at that. Look at this Joy-Con drift going on. Okay, we'll throw all of these guys. Look at that. Look at all the leaves we have. We're gonna be set here in the future, but we don't have that much dirt. Don't have that much dirt. Plenty of leaves. There we go. It's nice to finish projects on stream, but this seems like a very daunting task that may not be finished in the few hours I have, just because look at this forest was huge. This is 69, this is 68. There we go. We're gonna dig up the dirt a little bit, make it all flat. Flattening stuff in creative is very easy, but in survival it takes a lot of work to do correctly and to do efficiently. There we go. Look at that. Making some leeway. It's all gonna be smooth sailing from here. Yes, projects, finishing. Where did that all originate from? I cannot remember. I have the memory of a goldfish sometimes. Which is funny to say as a person who memorizes scripts and scripts at a time. But for like the most simple conversations, I cannot remember how I got here. Ooh, that's funky music. Okay. Yes, so I don't remember where that came from, but probably genius. I want to see if I can't get on a live stream eventually with another person, just because I think that would be a lot of fun. But I think that we'll need to coordinate our schedules before that happens. So eventually, watch out, there might be 2 voices coming to you for a live stream. Okay, look at that. It's going well. It's interesting. I'm now thinking about music. There's some streams that have more like really heavy gaming soundtracks, which I think would be great for like MMOs or, you know, more not shoot 'em up games, but kind of that, you know, battle royales or other things like that. I tried to listen to them and I tried to do some test recordings with some of them, and it's just not what this is. You know, not what this game calls for. I think if this got a little bit too heavy, it would definitely look and feel odd coming from this. There we go. Look at that. Making some leeway. Okay, I don't know if I should fill that in. We'll fill that in when we run out of space. So we'll continue trudging through this. Not trudging. We're having fun. I love that they added this. They added the overworld nether portals, which I think is really smart because it guides players to where they should be going, which before they didn't really have that. I think that's a smart, you know, it's a smart addition to the game. But I just love that because now I don't necessarily have to go to the nether to get netherrack. I can go find these portals. Not like that's the best efficient way of getting netherrack, but nonetheless, a very nice touch by Mojang. Gonna flatten this out. The trees are what take the most time, in my opinion. Ooh, my leg. My leg, leaning on my leg with the controller is not the best. Try not to touch anything. There we go. I'm trying to think of really good chill day activities. I think everyone's got their own way to recharge their batteries. This is definitely one of mine, to be able to just unplug and get lost for a couple hours. But I know that there's so many more activities and ways to unwind and to relax. Watching a movie is fun. I always do enjoy a good movie night where you can just sit down and, depending on what you have, you know, hot chocolate, maybe an adult beverage if you are feeling fun, or even like, especially now once we're getting into the winter seasons here in the States, of like, you know, hot cocoa and some like snickerdoodle cookies and Just sounds like a nice festive holiday time where you can just relax and get some cozy vibes going. Everyone's got their own way of chilling. Drawing, another really good thing. It's just, putting pen to paper and drawing whatever comes out in your heart. I'm just trying to make sure I picked everything up. Okay, that tree. I think I should probably tear down all the trees first. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Okay. Thank you, Joy-Con Drift. There's a lot of trees over here. That's okay. What a life. This is your friendly reminder to remember to go Christmas shopping. Get it out of the way now. Think about who's important to your life at this moment and go buy them something. Consume. Be a good consumer and go buy things for your... Or this would be another good reminder to make something if you don't like to consume. I think handmade gifts are one of the most sentimental, really heartfelt things. So this is your friendly early reminder that if you have a special person in your life that you want to bless or to encourage this holiday season, start making your gift now. Start drawing, start crafting, whatever it is. Make that gift now, because before you know it, time will slip away and we'll be in December. And then we'll be in January. And we'll be in 2021. We'll be in the future. I'm thinking about... I don't know. I always like making those things, but I always find myself doing it way too late. It's like, oh, I want to do something special for this person. And then it ends up being December 10th. And I'm like, I don't know that if I have enough time. This would be ideal if I did this, but I don't think that's going to happen. So this is a reminder to myself and to all of you to make your Christmas gifts now before time runs away from you. Man. There we go. One more down. Look at all these leaves. We're gonna be set. I tried to do the math of how many leaves I would need to cover a circle of diameter of radius 64 by 64, and it was something like 7,000 leaves, which divided into 7 double chests of leaves. And I was like, I was so busy with other things to prep for this live stream. I don't think I can do that in the next 24 hours without sacrificing things that I actually need to get done. So I was like, well, we'll do it as it comes, and maybe we can figure out where they're like to spawn and then, limit that interaction. Just a good time. That's actually one of the fun things about fall, are the leaves changing colors. And I kind of wish they did that. I wish they had seasons in Minecraft, so they had a bit of that, that it changed shape. Not that I'd want it to be, because I think that's the thrill of it, is that this game is kind of timeless. You can come, well, not exactly timeless, but you can come back to it any point and you'll be in the same place, as opposed to something like, Animal Crossing that demands that you are, attentive to the seasons, because that's one of the things that, takes up the time in Animal Crossing is, okay, cool, there's, it's Saturday, I have to go, listen to KK Slider and get the music that I'm missing, blah, 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 blah. And it's just, they're very good at tailoring the game to be, holiday or event-specific gaming. And this doesn't have that as much, and that's fine. But sometimes I wish it did. Sometimes I wish they could add a little bit of a time mechanic to this so that you could get like color changing leaves or something like that. And they're adding that in, am I full? I am full. I'm full on stuff. And it's getting nighttime. And it's becoming nighttime. That's one of those, they're adding that in the new update. They're gonna add copper, and copper's gonna be able to oxidize and get, change its shape, change its color from orange to green. And so you're gonna be able to do that, and that's gonna be really exciting. I think that's gonna be a really good addition to the game. But that's only because it's a natural process. Which will be interesting if they incorporate more of things like that. I don't think they'll get, to full-blown seasons, but it'd be interesting to see what they would do. Staying hydrated. Go to bed, stay hydrated. It's 10 minutes of, or 20 minutes, wow, 20 minutes of talking. You see that? Look at that. Zombie just fell in. And now he's trapped. Oh. There we go. Now we're ready to continue. Is this on? Can I turn this on? It's off. We're gonna turn it on. Oh no! He's dead. And we got 2 rotten flesh from it. Okay, we'll turn that off. I don't want to add lag for my poor little computer to deal with. Okay, I can, the end is in sight, my friends, the end is in sight. Once we clear this out, oh, there's not too much. End is in sight for this part. I was saying, oh yes, color changing leaves. I was like, what was I talking about? There it is, found it. I don't know, I kind of like that about games sometimes, that the games that are ever changing are nice. Oh hey, you can do this. Like that's one of the, I think that's one of the things that and I was saying this, yeah, that Animal Crossing does really well, is that there's an allure to playing it year round. And they did a really nice job, I think, now, I mean, more than ever. Because I can't remember other games they had specific events the entire time, but now they're really going for specific items, right? So they had I think they're still doing it in the fall. I guess I can start with summer. In the summer, they did these specific shells that you could get, but you could only get them in the summer months. So starting in May and then ending in August, September. I think September was the end of it. So there's like these collectible items, and I think that we as creatures of achievement or perfection or whatever it is, having those rare exclusive items, triggers that in our brain, that we're like, oh cool, I have this thing that nobody else has, or I have this thing that I had to get because I had to wait. So it's that what's that principle called? The delayed gratification. Right, so I had to do this thing, so I had to spend time to do this, and I got a reward for it that is rarer than everything else. So as a result, we get this reward in our brain that says, "Oh, hey, look at me! I did something, and I got something that not everyone else has, or maybe everyone else does have, and I got to be a part of it," which is a different reward center in the brain. But nonetheless, that's how they do it. That's how they get you. That's how they get you hooked, and that's how they, get you to come back and play. Even after you've put the game down for like a month or 2 months, they generate. And it's great for them because they can generate content, and then we will generate the hype for it. Of like, whoa, look at this! This is so cool. This is exclusive. Again, and there's that trigger word that will get us to our brains to react and think, oh yeah, this is something I want. Exclusive Halloween merch, or not even merch, exclusive Halloween recipes, or exclusive Halloween items, or exclusive Halloween that keyword exclusive is what gets us to be thinking about that, of like, oh, well, I don't want to miss out. I want to join in the exclusivity to feel important or to feel empowered. Again, I'm just running my mouth because I love human psychology. I love what psychology is like for people who are playing or people who are, experiencing, because so often I think we don't think about it and we just blindly do. And then when asked, we can think about it later, but it's not something that is continually in our brains. And that's something I have to remind myself as I'm playing video games, which I watched another great video today talking about video games are also, you can get addicted to video games like you can get addicted to, other substances. There's now video game rehabilitation for people who are obsessed with playing video games. But that's one of the things I have to remind myself when I'm doing stuff like this, of like, hey, okay, it's just a game. Or, just because I missed out on this event, it isn't the most important thing in the world. And that's the same thing with the Halloween event. I had rehearsal the night of Halloween, and this event starts at 5 and rehearsal starts at 6. And I was like, I don't know that I'll be able to get enough time to do this. And then I had to remind myself of like, it's okay if you don't, because this is just a game. So and I don't think corporations are evil. I don't think Nintendo, the corporation, is evil. I think there might be some other corporations that may not have our best interests in mind. No, but I think that's one of the very effective ways of saying, hey, this is our game and we want you to keep playing it. Of saying, oh, hey, look at this exclusive Halloween event, or look at these exclusive things you can do. Get them before they're gone, and then we just generate content for them, and we do the same thing. I know, not necessarily that I'm a part of the problem because I released it after Halloween was over, but that was one of those things of releasing a video of saying, oh, look at this Halloween trailer of oh, get it before it's gone kind of idea. This idea of scarcity. Right? Scarcity drives up demand. If you're saying, oh, this is only here for a limited time, then you're adding scarcity to the mix, and as a result, you're encouraging people to consume, and you're increasing the demand. There you go. You never thought you'd get a macroeconomics or a microeconomics lesson while on a Minecraft live stream of leaf collection and raid farm building, but you did. So a lesson to you of don't expect anything in the world. Left and right turns happen all the time on a racetrack, and you just gotta be prepared to turn whatever direction you gotta go. I don't know. I think a lot of times people just don't use that same. I don't think people use what they learn to its fullest extent, right? So we kind of laugh off and like, well, I'm not learning anything in this course, or yada yada yada, and we just kind of dismiss knowledge and education, and we say, well, I'm never going to use that, or I don't really care because my field is more in this. I don't know, because there's a lot of things that have really interesting overlaps. I'm learning, or I'm not learning, I'm taking statistics right now. Again, late in my college career, usually people take statistics pretty early on, but in my taking statistics in my later career has actually been really useful, because it's been kind of I can see it through a different lens, because I've actually had experience with accounting, or trying to do my own, trying to run my own business, or trying to do this other thing. I have more experience, and so now I'm able to view statistics from a different light than I would have, as an incoming freshman or whatnot. And again, I'm not a traditional student. I went to go get an associate's, and then after I was finished with my associate's, then I transferred to a 4-year, and now I'm finishing, a year 2 of a 4-year degree. Not a typical thing that you see happen all the time. Usually, okay, hey, go to school for 4 years, then you're done, and then, do whatever you want. But that's not the way I had it in my life. And so it's been interesting to observe and to learn through a different kind of lens, through a different focus. This is really sad music. Sorry, I'm going to skip this because this is, There we go. Okay, that's gonna be much better. We're saying different lens. Different lens. Yeah, so your experiences do define a bit of what you are and how you perceive things. Big shock, right? Experiences define how you see reality. But that's one of those things. It is true. I'm learning more from statistics now than I think I would have learned when if I were to take it, you know, at the start of my collegiate career. And the same thing, you know, I also scoffed and said, you know, what am I going to learn from macroeconomics? You know, I have to do this because I was pursuing a business degree in my early collegiate level. But the principles of that can actually be applied to a lot of things. You know, advertisement, and you'll find different moments where you can use that same idea, right? Scarcity increases demand, or so I mean, just even the idea of supply and demand, that you want to find that equilibrium point. There are very helpful, useful things that you can do to increase your own sales, to increase your own, you know, profits, but also the success of whatever you're trying to do, or even be able to identify. And I think that's sometimes we're always seeking for this application, right? I need to find out where I can strictly use supply and demand in my day-to-day life. That's not necessarily what it's going to be. It can be as simple as you looking at something and being able to identify, oh, hey, this is supply and demand that I've learned in macroeconomics, without having to be like, oh, I need to, and we're full and our tools look good. It's just more of being able to think big concepts and say, okay, what is this, and how does it relate to what I'm doing? Not necessarily, oh, hey, I need to be doing this, or I need to, you know, supply and demand. I'm not going to be in the processing chain, not the processing chain. I'm not going to be on the logistics side of it, so I don't have to worry about, you know, supply and demand. Okay, whoa, what? Okay, everything fell apart because my controller fell. There we go. I'm gonna check how many people are on. We got 4 viewers. Well, hello, 4 viewers. How are you? Sorry, my Spotify was covering the current viewers. That is the most I've ever had. Hello, everyone. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Leave a comment if you want to talk about anything. I'm more than happy to engage with you if you want to engage and talk about what you want to talk about instead of running my mouth. So let me know what's up. How you guys doing? Let's do this as a check-in before I, you know, jump back and say, oh, hey, you know, the usefulness of macroeconomics or anything else. Yeah, leave me a comment, guys. It's so nice to see ya. Well, not literally see you, but, you know that you're there. Know that you're out on the other side of this microphone and other setup that I've got. Wow, this is the most I've had in all the live streams, so this is great. Cool. I'm gonna switch back and continue going forward and talk about economics until somebody cuts me off and says, hey, talk about this instead. What do I have? Dirt, yes. I was saying, yes. Talk about string theory. Oh man, I can try my hand at string theory. Okay, let me wrap up with the macroeconomics theory, and then I guess we can dive into string theory if you really want to. Yes. So all that to say, I'm gonna put this dirt out, and then I'll give that as my timer. So when I run out of dirt, then I have to switch topics. The application, right? So we're talking about applications and economics. Sometimes I think we focus way too much on the cut and dry, right? So instead of critically thinking about it and saying, okay, what is this and how can this benefit me? Or where can I apply this otherwise? We get so locked into the framework that it's presented in that we never actually take it out and apply it to something else. Okay. There's a big lawn chat. Yeah, talk about physics and how Okay, wait. Let me click on that so I can actually read it. Talk about physics and how Minecraft is the real world, and we got sucked into the simulation that is this accursed life. End my suffering. Okay. Well, looks like we're talking about string theory and then possibly developing and diving into a conspiracy theory about how Minecraft is real and we are fake. Well, yeah, I want to get into the chat. So let's wrap up economics. Anyways, that's the main point is that, you know, challenge yourself to see what you can do and how you can apply things that either you have learned or you are learning. I'm a big proponent of being a lifelong learner. So if you can read, if you're not in school, read books or even watch YouTube channels. There's a lot of really good educational YouTube channels out there of Save Us. Yes, I'm trying. I'm getting there. Just a lot of really good educational channels about science. I mean, literally anything you want. Science, psychology, string theory, conspiracy theories. YouTube is a really good place for that kind of stuff. And just challenge yourself. If you're not in school, then yeah, find different mediums where you can critically think about something. Or if you are in school, regardless of the level of school that you are in, challenge yourself to think outside of the box. So, you know, think about how something like, you know, supply and demand can apply to something different, as opposed to, you know, being in a strictly macroeconomic or microeconomic scale where it's typically taught. Yeah, so that's my advice, and that's the most fascinating thing is when you can actually connect it to real world, and then you're like, oh hey, my education actually wasn't a waste of time because I actually was able to learn and do something that I otherwise would be unable to have learned or done. All right, that's my spiel about macroeconomics and the importance of applying what you do. Man, I'm not worried if that's one dirt block. Okay, string theory. This is such a big topic. For those who don't know what string theory is the idea that everything we do exists on a wave-like pattern. Okay, I don't want to do it injustice. You know, I don't want to be like, oh no, this is what it actually is, and then it's not. String theory is about to do with, it's about physics, and it's about how everything is connected on a wavelength, and we are simultaneously creating and destroying things at the same time, and everything has its own frequency and vibration. And as one thing is created, another thing is destroyed. Kind of. It's the idea. It kind of came about with Einstein's relativity, and Einstein as a scientist, that everything is that space and time exist together, and they are flexible. So they exist. The best way to think about it is to look like a net. So it's like this giant fishing net, and this fishing net that we thought was a big flat existence of the universe is not actually the way that it is. So the world functions in a different manner where you are able to bend the net or create bulges in it or create concaves or stretch out the different squares of the net and make them further apart or make them closer together. And that's the idea of the special relativity, that space and time are not constants, but they are rather relative to each other, and they can be shifted and changed. String theory is the idea, can you use Minecraft as a visual aid? I mean, I can try to to create. Yes. Sure. Yes, we can do that. Here, let me clear this out, and then I can use that idea of string theory. So, string theory basically works this way. If we were to, so we are in essence right now. I feel like I'm a teacher. In essence, we are right now we are leveling out space-time. So it's something that it's not equal, right? We got hills, we got plains, we got valleys, but everything is pretty equidistant. But the idea of space-time is that in this one area, if you wanted to create a stone that when it is created, it would also create an equal stone directly across from it. So you'd be looking, and these would be created exactly the same. But for the use of this, let's say this stone. Whoa! Wow, look at that. That's not the example I wanted to go to. So this is the stone, and this is the other stone. So it is exactly the same, and they're exact opposites. So this is the one version of it, and this is the other, and this is the same thing, and that they exist on a string. And so then as life continues, these will actually collide into each other, and then they will both disappear. And they will no longer cease to exist. So that's kind of the general visual aid example of what string theory looks like in Minecraft. It gets entirely more complicated that you do that. It's also talking about trying to think of other approaches and methods for string theory. Basically, what in the example of those two things canceling each other out, it's to do with quarks and these tiny particles, that there is matter that is created and destroyed all the time all around us, and that they function like on vibrations on a string, so that while one is created, another one is destroyed. So that's kind of where that string theory comes up. I know this person in chat, and I know that you are not asking necessarily about string theory in general, but more of the many worlds hypothesis that is also called string theory, or not also called, it's called the many worlds, and they're usually represented by many strings. That's another interesting thing to discuss. And I can visually represent that. That's not a problem for me at all. I know how to do that, because that concept to me is a lot easier to represent and to talk about. So the many worlds hypothesis is about the fact that our universe is one of many, and that there are different ideas for how this multiverse exists. But basically, how this works, the many worlds that we're all strings, is that you have this moment in time, right? We're here on this block. This is our life. We are in this universe. And now I can decide to jump left, or I can jump right? So I can go this direction in life, or I can go this direction in life. And no matter what I do, so let's say I'm choosing to jump left. So I'm going to jump left. I'm going to go as far as I can. Boom. Boom. This is now my existence. That I went from there to there. This is still one continual existence for me, because nothing has changed. But the many worlds hypothesis saying that I could have jumped over here. So let me line this up. That this world also exists now. So while I may be in this version of this world, there is another world that exists where I chose to do a different thing, right? Same thing. From here, I can do the same thing. I can jump left or right. Say I'm going to go right. Boom. So now I'm actually here. So that is also a possibility. This could have done the same thing and joined me, and usually it doesn't, right? So think about this three-dimensionally too. They could have gone left or right. And same thing with this guy. This guy could have gone left or, let me see if I can put it down, left or right. So now from one decision of, again, in a binary system, I can choose to go left or I can choose to go right. I chose to go left. Then from here, I can also choose to go left or I can choose to go right. And then I chose to go right. But nonetheless, the other options that exist always exist because I made a choice, so I forced one reality to close. Kind of like Schrodinger's box, right? The cat is both dead and alive in that, classic experiment, is that it is in a superposition of both states until you check it. Same thing, the decisions we make in our existence exist both, I may not rest, there's monsters nearby. No, he's gone. No, he's back. There we go. Now I can rest. No, I can't. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Please. I'm talking about string theory. See, there's a world that exists where I was actually able to go to bed because there weren't monsters nearby. Are they spawned? No, they have not spawned. So where are these monsters that they're talking about? I don't think do pillagers count as monsters? Are there pillagers up here that I'm unaware of? No, there's not. There's no monsters. You're lying to me. That is too far away. There we go. So yes, that's the many worlds. That's the many worlds hypothesis that as we exist, every decision that we make influences and creates a new reality where we made that decision. Now, the problem I have with that is who dictates what decisions create a new reality, right? You know, is it something as simple as turning left or right? That's a binary thing. I can turn left, I can go right, or I can keep going straight. That's 3 options, so it's not binary. But who's to say, you know, like maybe I thought about ordering ketchup and I didn't order ketchup. Does that create an alternate new reality? Like who's to say, is every single person's reality shifted? So are we just, you know, infinitely, exponentially creating new realities? That's where I have an issue, not an issue, it's possible, and I think that there's space for it in the infinite galaxies, but is that something that is actually happening? I don't know, and we will have really no way of knowing whether or not that is true unless we buzz back and forth from one reality to another, right? Okay. There's the visual aid for that. What was the next topic? Talk about physics. Let me read this again because this was a lengthy discussion. Talk about physics and how Minecraft is the real world and we get sucked into the simulation that is this accursed life. Okay, interesting. What an interesting topic. Alright, let's run with this experiment. Let's run with this idea. So we're saying it's the opposite, right? So not we created Minecraft as a simulation to escape our real world, but we are actually in Minecraft, and we are in a simulation at the moment. Let's justify that, right? So in order for that to be true, we would have to be in the game constantly, right? And that means that our real lives would be all simulations. And so that's not a hard thing to comprehend. I think where that theory falls apart is for people who have never played Minecraft. Or it could be a very, again, this is the job of the actor, right, to create stories. What that would mean would be that people who have never played Minecraft are stuck somewhere in the world of Minecraft, just utterly zoned out. This is perfect. This is so creepy for what we're saying. It would mean that everyone is asleep and that eventually we would all have to wake up and start living in the simulation. Okay, sorry. That music was very timely. That would mean that, yeah, people who have never played Minecraft, like actually played Minecraft either on a server or even, tried their luck, that would mean that they either are asleep, that they are stored somewhere in a Minecraft chamber. And see, I don't know, I think the problem with that is there's not enough lore. Like, you don't wake up from a specific area. You wake up in the middle of a forest, or you wake up in the middle of a field, or something. You are waking up in a place with nothing on you but a map, which could be justified. Okay, bear with me. You could be dropped into the world, and then you're, thawed out, right? So you are dropped by the higher civilization. You're frozen until you log in the game, and then finally that's where your cryo sleep awakens, and now all of a sudden you are now sentient and you can walk around. But that is your real existence. So it'd be interesting to think about it like this, all right? What if you never fully resolved your cryogenic sleep, right? So you are doing this, right? You exist in this world, but there's that connection to the home base where you can choose to willingly opt out and to enter a simulation. You can be like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to deal with real life. I want to jump into a simulation. So then when you're dropped in the world, you're thought out, and you're for the first time you enter Minecraft, you enter into this, nothingness. And you've got nothing on you but what you have in your hands. Then as you continue, if you decide at any point, because you can decide to log out of Minecraft at any point, you can choose to willingly activate that same device and go back into cryosleep. Upon initial wake up, you can't. You can anytime, but upon that initial wake up is when you first experience that world and you're dropped off by a higher race of individuals. And so afterwards, you can choose to go into the simulation. Now, what's interesting then, relating it back to physics, is that the in-game physics of Minecraft are much different than our world. And that's an interesting philosophical question, I think. As much as it is a physics question, it's also an interesting philosophy question. And it's actually talked about a lot in The Matrix, too, which is one of my favorite movies. Love The Matrix. I think it's genius, and they do a really good job of exploring philosophy through science fiction. But think about this, right? That's something that Neo says when, or not, does Neo say it? It's said to Neo by Agent Smith and by the Architect. I guess spoilers in case you haven't seen those movies. I think the people involved in chat, I know you guys, I think you've all seen it, but nonetheless, spoiler warning for those of you watching in the future who haven't seen Matrix. Pipe up now or forever hold your, forever be, ruining classic movies that I think you should see already. Anyways, Matrix, reality, bending reality. It's discussed in the movie, right, that the human hosts who are being used as batteries have to exist in a simulation. And they said that upon initial creation of the Matrix, the humans were rejecting it because it was too perfect. It was they tried to make it ideal utopian conditions, right? Humans were put in where they had everything and they had everything they needed in life, but humans wouldn't accept it because they could not foresee or imagine a world where there wasn't suffering or there wasn't pain, right? So what they did is they eventually adopted and evolved it to where it felt like the I don't know what time period, like the 90s? That it felt like the real world grunge city of the 90s. Right? And then the humans all bought it, they loved it, and they didn't ever question the reality until a lovely guy by the name of Morpheus showed up and, made you question your reality and think, hey, maybe this isn't the entirely right thing to do. Nonetheless, that is a thing that I think is happening in this theory that Minecraft is real and that our life is not. Because think about it. If we followed the same principles as in Minecraft, it would be amazing. It'd be too good to be true. It'd feel like a video game. But because we have to feed ourselves and there's no, convenient hunger bar, there's nothing to help us out in this journey, it feels realistic and our minds can handle it. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm not, it's hard, I have to I have to go to work, I have a job, I can't pick up a cubic foot, or I guess not, we wouldn't know what that is because we're in Minecraft, so it would be a cube worth of stuff. Like, no, that's not possible because that's not how the world works. Of course it is. We're just refusing to accept it because we feel like we need to be suffering, which makes me question a little bit about what this bigger race was doing to us, right? Because we had to come from somewhere. If we just dropped and woke up in the middle of a field with nothing on us but a map, That means that we still had a previous life and that we still, we were still feeling and doing things. So why are we creating this simulation where things are so different? Gravity works so differently. We can't fly here with things attached to our back. We can't wield swords all proficiently, or float in the air, or make blocks float in the air. We just don't understand that. And so we've justified the reason for why this works. So who were we before that these alien, like, where did that struggle come into? Who's dictating these rules? Who's making us believe these things that we believe if we were actually destined to be in Minecraft and to build things and to do that? Who? I need answers. I need saving. I can't save you in chat. I need saving from whatever thing is doing this to us. Does that satisfy your question, viewer? About the theory that Minecraft is real and our whole world is fake? Was that entertaining for you? Do you believe me? Do you have counter arguments for me? Amen, brother. Yes. Okay. No counter arguments. I just have more questions. I have more questions about this higher race of individuals that are, that drop us off in fields, or sometimes on abandoned islands, or in waters. Like, when you wake up from cryosleep, we're calling it cryosleep. When you wake up from cryosleep in this game, you wake up anywhere. So what kind of civilization allows you to do that? And do they have a timer on you? Of like, well, I mean, I would assume so. I mean, think about it, right? Think about it with me, right? Now it's nighttime. I should probably go to bed, so I can also hydrate and keep at this. Think about that. If there were an alien civilization, and say you are a person who's logging into Minecraft for the first time, but that would mean it's okay. This is a simulation, so they know everything because you're in a simulation and you're being monitored. They would know how soon you are to getting to a place to where you could play Minecraft. Think about that, right? So if you are, you're on your way to your friend's house and your friend is playing Minecraft, that means that they're awake. And these higher entities know that they're awake, and then you, who are also in a simulation, is getting close to them, and you're gonna have the same experience. So they know that your timer's about to go up, and so they decide to, figure out a place to drop you in this world to where you can actually wake up and experience the real world as it is. But they make this reality so, realistic and whatever, and they've planted these ideas in your head that when you land and you're like, well, why would I wake up in an ocean? That's part of their plan. It's part of their plan to make you... Here, I'm going to change the camera. There we go. That's part of their plan. They are trying to make you so convinced that Minecraft's not real that you're already lost. You're a lost cause. You think it's not, when in actuality it is. We need a huge cork board to this level of insight. I'm gonna start the coffee. Start the coffee, my friend. That reminds me of another friend of mine who made this giant conspiracy theory about how the a couple friends how the what are they called? The Christmas. There's 2 Christmas films on Netflix, and how because of them they're all interconnected. Like how those two movie films are all interconnected based off of tiny plots and details and expounding upon. So what would you call that? I don't know. A word for, musings. There we go. Well, musings. There are several musings and conspiracies and things that interconnected all of them. They're fun. These are fun ideas to explore, because I think it also engages that creative brain of like, Well, how could you justify this? Just like, you know, how can you justify that the moon landing was fake? Or whatever else. Not to say all conspiracies don't have some level of truth. That's the same thing here. We're basing it off of human nature, right? That if we woke up, I mean, that's how we know dreams are dreams. And they've written plays about this. They've done movies about this. One of my favorite plays is Life is a Dream, the Netflix Cinematic Universe, Christmas edition, sir. There we go. The Netflix Cinematic Universe. It is all connected. For further questions, just ask. Just ask further questions of people if they've heard, because they should have heard. What was I saying? Humans, things. What was I saying? I'm so easily distracted. Oh, conspiracy theories and having a ring of truth to them, right? That's the whole point of what, you know, there is a semblance of truth, even to this, right? To this idea that, you know, Minecraft could be Minecraft could be reality and we could be in a simulation. It actually harkens back to a philosophical discussion of what's known as the mad scientist or the mad scientist or the demon philosophy, right? That nothing you know is actually real because everything is literally just a trick played on you by some mad scientist, and you are the only thing that exists, and everything else that you're experiencing is a fiction, which is a very plausible and weirdly undeniable possibility that exists in our world. You could be the only person, and they have theorems about how you can disprove it, but it is nonetheless a possibility that you could be the only one experiencing what you're experiencing, and that everything is being, you know, played a trick on you. Same thing in this idea that that's what I was saying. Life is a Dream. The play Life is a Dream. It talks about this. It's about the cyclical nature of fate and how if you try to go against your fate, you actually you seal your own fate, blah, 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 blah. Nonetheless, this main character forces his son, he gets a prophecy saying that his son will eventually kill him and become king. And so what does he do when he has the son? He decides to exile the son in an abandoned tower. And in this abandoned tower, he does not see any sort of light of day. And then the king decides to test the prophecy by saying, well, let's make him king for a day and see what he does. And so he comes out, he becomes king, and the first thing he does is he throws a person off a balcony, and he goes berserk. And then the king's like, oh no, he wouldn't make a good king. So he locks him back up in the tower, and he wakes up and he's like, that was too good to be true. That must have been a dream. And that's the same thing, just because it's a play doesn't mean it's true, but that is a good, comment on us as individuals. We cannot accept 100%, pure good things. One of my wise friends, I know it's probably not original to him, but he used to tell me, if we only experience good things, they wouldn't be called good things. That if everything was perfect, it wouldn't make sense to us, and since we have experienced pain, since we have experienced bad things, we wouldn't actually be able to believe in a world where everything is good. And that's fascinating, and it's a little bit disheartening. At the same time, it's also a little bit encouraging, right? You know that if it couldn't possibly be all good all the time. Just because that's not real life. So that is encouraging. That's encouraging to know that, hey, behind every valley there's a peak, and after every peak, expect a valley, but don't hope for one. Enjoy the peak while it's there. Smell the flowers, blah 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 blah. So it's encouraging, and it's also a little disheartening of knowing that, yeah, a perfect utopia would be really hard for us to understand, especially since we know that there are bad things in the world, and we know that there are bad consequences or bad feelings. So it's not always going to be perfect, and it's not always going to be great, and we might be living in a simulation where instead, if we just woke up, we could fly. And we could create enormous structures. And we could fall hundreds and hundreds of feet and take no damage. Or hold on to a little golden... Look at this. I mean, I wish I could zoom. Look at this guy. See him? See him? Look at him. We could hold on to that. And we could die. And we'd still be okay. Isn't that crazy? I would love to wake up and be able to do that. Like, just hold a little yellow figurine and be like, hey, stab me. And then I would get stabbed, and then everything would be... I'd come back and everything would be okay. That's the... That would be an awesome reality. Be really fantastic. There we go. All topics wrapped up. And we hit a little bit of everything, and life is good. I think I might actually contribute in the comments after... Not comments, but post this on the actual description and kind of, you know, briefly cover the topics that were discussed during the live stream. But I think that's part of the fun of the live stream, is that you come in and you know that, oh, hey, this person likes to talk about these things, or, you know, this person is a person who can actually discuss these different... I mean, that's the goal, right? To be able to... Oh, there he is. Or zombies. Think about that. Real life zombies. And they don't turn you when they hit you. They just hit you. There's no fear of, you know, turning into a zombie yourself. Although, you do reincarnate. I would not want to see a player version of the zombie. I mean, I guess that's what Herobrine is. Ooh, we're almost done with one corner of this quadrant. That's going to be excellent. It's always nice to see progress, isn't it? I think I mentioned that last time. With, like, why human beings like to see progress when we do things. Makes us feel important. Makes us feel like we're actually accomplishing something. Bum, bum, bum. And look at that. We'll see how this stream fares after about 2 hours, because that seems to be my limit in terms of what my computer is capable of. It could be the internet, and I feel like this has actually been going pretty well in terms of quality for you guys. I don't think it's been struggling at all. Maybe it has. I don't know. What fun discussions. Shoot me another topic if you want to talk or hear me talk about something. Otherwise, I'm just gonna run my mouth. Let's see. That's good. Stop. Look at that. He's scared of the block. How's that? Okay, we got plenty of more stuff that we need to do. Might need to repair our tools. We might come back to this next week or something to try to finish it up. I mean, we might start this and then we might, you know, actually have a bit more of a, actual... Alright, we might actually have a way to walk through how to design this and how to make this functional and do a bit of testing. And then maybe do another Q&A. Voice in the chat. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you? The funniest thing that's happened to me? Oh man, that's a good question, because I'm wondering what kind of funny. Because I've had a lot of really funny oh, okay. Hey, buddy. Alright, that means it's time to go to bed, so we can transition topics. And I always think of the Batman theme. Okay. Okay. Alright, buddy. You wanted string theory? Okay. Whoa. Okay. Stop it. The longer we stay out, the more dangerous it becomes. I'm getting to your question, I swear. I'm just also trying to make sure that I pick up these stuff so it doesn't despawn. I'm losing health. There's a creeper. I need creepers, actually. For the gunpowder. The gunpowder is one of the most rare scenes in the game. Not really. That's not true. That's an inaccurate statement. Don't quote me. Funniest thing that's happened to me. I don't know. I don't... Not to say I don't have an answer, or I don't have many funny things that happen, but I don't know... Funniest thing... Like, funniest situation I've been in, or funniest... Like, situation... Like, yeah, again, situationally funny, or just funny because... it was just generally hilarious. I guess what kind of I can answer both questions. Okay. Much better. Funniest thing that happened to me. I'm gonna switch my camera. Boom. I don't know. That's a really good question. I have to access my memory banks. I can talk about... It's only funny because it's my type of humor. But the apartment that I had, this is a funny memory for me because it's over now, but it was definitely not funny coming into it. But it's one of those, like, just ridiculous kind of thing funny. Of like, how could that happen to anyone? That's something straight out of a fairy tale. Funniest thing that happened to me, I was trying to get an apartment in this city. And I signed a lease with these guys, and was trying to come up, and I was trying to do this thing, and it was just absolutely, it was going fine. They were gonna be there, and I was like, okay, cool, this is great, fantastic. And then I showed up. One of them wasn't even there. The other person didn't know I was coming, and then they told me that, you know, he was moving out by the end of the month, and I was basically stuck with an apartment. It was great. I mean, and then we moved in. We found a bunch of stuff that should not have been there. We found out that one of their roommates died and was doing, you know, and was just had disappeared and had left all his stuff here, and they had to sort it, but they didn't know how to. I'm full. This is unfortunate. I should have been keeping an eye on that. It was just the most crazy collection of things that you could imagine to happen, and they were all happening to me. Like, my apartment fell through, it wasn't working that way. When we showed up, we found out that they were doing these, they were selling drugs out of the apartment, and it was, the roommate had, and I was just like, I don't understand how this doesn't feel realistic. But it actually happened, and it was. I think that's not as funny. I'm trying to think of it. That's one of the weirdest. And I look back on it and laugh now because I'm like, that was just insane. I cannot imagine how that even worked. But I think let's think haha funny. The funniest thing that happened to me. This is my quiet thinking face. I don't know. Funniest thing. I have a very dark sense of humor. Let me just say that. So what I consider funny are just moments where I've been embarrassed, and it's just not embarrassed, but more of, oh, wow, that's actually a terrible thing to happen. I'm like, no, it's hilarious. Not all the time. I mean, I'm not morbidly, like, oh, hey, I suffered. I was jumping over a hurdle and I thought I was so good, and I jumped over a hurdle and tore my ACL. Ain't that just the funniest thing? Like, not that. Like, they're like, oh, I mutilated my body on accident. Isn't that just funny? I don't know. I really cannot. I cannot think. I'm sorry. I cannot answer that question for you because I think everything that happens to me is hilarious. Sometimes. So I'll give it some more thought. I'm trying to think. I don't want to leave you hanging. I don't want to leave you hanging on what the funniest thing to happen to me is. I know what the funnest thing to happen to me was. I had for my birthday, my friends threw a giant scavenger mystery hunt, like where we had to go travel around the city and, you know, solve clues and figure out riddles and answer stuff. Like that was the most fun I have ever had. And I think that was also, I guess that is one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me, is that I was forced is the wrong word. I decided to participate and was kind of socially forced to participate in this event where I had to go visit my past jobs, and there were people there in costumes of fictional detective characters while I was also in fictional detective characters. And like I had to ask work, this is fun for me because just remembering this, I was dressed up as Sherlock Holmes and I was parading around like my college campus at the time, and then I had called out of work, not called out of work, but I had gotten the day off because it was, you know, I knew that I wanted to spend time with my friends on this day, and then the organizer had me go back to work, and I had to like fulfill tasks while I was there, and like I had to do my job at work because my friend knew what I was doing. Like my friend knew what I did at that job, so I had to literally do my job at work in costume for my birthday. And then not only that, but then to top it all off, I had to go back to my old job, to the job I used to have, which I had not been at for like a year to 2 years, and I had to go back there and look for another person dressed in costume. And so these people who had not seen me for a while all of a sudden saw me, and now they're just trying to understand, like, what's going on? Like, why are you back? I was like, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm doing stuff. How are you guys? Like, oh, great. You know, what's the thing? It's like, I'm just, you know, doing the thing. So I think that was the funniest thing that's ever happened to me, because I can't describe. I don't know many people who have had that same experience, and that was the most funny, awkward event, like turn of events that is a great memory now. But that was just definitely one of those moments. I was like, I have to go back to work and do my job at work as a celebration. Okay, let's do it, because I'm always game for it. So it was a good memory, a fun memory, and probably one of the funniest things that's ever happened, because I don't think you could describe that to somebody and be like, oh yeah, I totally know what you mean, you know, as opposed to some of those general other experiences where you're like, oh yeah, remember that one time I licked a flagpole and my tongue got stuck? Ha ha ha, I totally remember that. It's happened to me too. So I think that should answer your question about the funniest thing. That was hilarious. It was also a lot of fun. It was just a great time. Ugh. I am sweating just because it's so hot. 67, 68, so I do need to go up here. Okay. It's just so hot because this weather has turned, and it's just oofta. And I like sweating, but in the right time. You know, I don't like sweating when I'm not supposed to sweat. So that's just my experience with sweating. That's so stupid. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, that's just my experience with sweating. What am I thinking? It's been a long day, okay? Just excuse that. It's just been a long day where we're trying to do all the things and still keep everything amazing and engaging. Whew. We're actually gonna have to call it here soon. I don't want to. I want to finish something before I actually call the stream, just because I got other stuff that I need to handle in real life, and I'm sure everyone. I mean, you can leave at any time you want if you've got other things you need to do, but I'm sure other people have Sunday night plans. I'm looking forward to movie theaters opening again. Let me just say that I am missing going to see a movie and do that, because that's, I mean, we didn't do that every Sunday, but that is definitely a Sunday memory I have, is being able to go on the weekends to the movie theaters and just watch a film. I did quite enjoy that. Plus, I really wanted to see Tenet. Tenet came out, and I wasn't sure if it was like I think it came out in Europe because they actually, you know, handled it pretty well. So they were able to open up their movie theaters. And so Tenet came out, and I've heard nothing but great reviews. So I wanted to go and see that, but unfortunately we did not get to do that. I did watch the new Borat film, in case anyone was wondering. The new Borat film came out on Amazon Prime, so if you have Prime, you can watch it. Pretty good, pretty funny, pretty timely as well, pretty situationally funny as well. I like Sacha Baron Cohen just because he's one of those. He is quite literally a clown, like in terms of acting techniques, in terms of theatrical. He's a theatrical clown. So he's, you know, using satire and humor to get points across. And yes, it can be pretty crude for the conservative. I mean, not even conservative. It's just his jokes are quite on the nose, and they are not apologetic. They're not going to apologize for what they are. So I really enjoyed the movie. I, you know, genuinely enjoyed watching the movie just because I love satire. Satire is one of my favorite forms of comedy, especially smart satire. If I can see if I can see the parallels without necessarily being, you know, getting them right in my face, which I think Borat does a pretty in your face thing of, oh, you know, here's a person who's outlandish and here's how they're going to react. That's pretty on the nose. But something like what is that, Space Troopers, I think? Yeah, Space Troopers. I think I'm speaking of the right movie. Maybe I'm not. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which is also a satirical parody of, like, you know, nationalism in America and, you know, our wars and our guns. And it does a really good job of, you know, however thinly, but, you know, veiling its intent of trying to be this funny. Oh, look at all these creepers. Sorry. It does a really good job of parodying that kind of environment and still telling a story while also constantly bringing different examples to you about, you know, nationalism and, you know, where this can lead to if you're not careful, / you know, where these stereotypes have already put us. Don't go. Don't kill me. All right, we are making significant progress. Let's take a peek up top to see how we've been doing. We might also need to put another trash chest down. Starship Troopers, thank you. What did I say? Super Troopers? I don't remember. Whatever I said, it was wrong. Starship Troopers is the correct term for that. Yep, we're gonna have to put another trash chest. Stop. Starship. What did I don't remember what I said. Again, memory of a squirrel. Goes in one ear, out the other. All of this is regular stuff. This does not fit in there. That does not fit in there. So we'll start a second chest now for all this extra bits that we've acquired. Yes, Starship Troopers is the name of the movie, and it is fantastic. Very good satirical comedy. Comedy gold. Space Troopers is what I said. Yes, sorry. This almost sounds like a CD from one of the C418 from the original Minecraft soundtrack. Okay. Oh, I said I was going to show you. Man, I got hiccups. Ooh. Oh, man. Almost level. Just this little portion left, and then we'll we'll call it good, and then we'll dedicate a little memorial to Zorg, because I got his name tag, but then I couldn't find him on the end of the live stream last time. There we go. For those of you tuning in, if you do end up wanting to rewatch this live stream, it will be live in 2 or 3 days. YouTube takes a while for it to process such long videos. So if you do want to catch up, or hear about something again or something else, put something on in the background while you work, or use it for your arguments. the video will be up eventually, just because YouTube takes a while for it to process and to get things back up. But eventually this will go, and you can get a recording of it as well, in case there's anything you missed, or the connection was poor, whatever the reason is. It will eventually go live on the channel as well. Ooh, I kind of want that coal. And then, okay, almost there. So yes, if you haven't seen Borat and you're of the not faint of heart / not easily offended, highly recommend. Very good movie. Enjoyed it. I was like, why can't I pick that up? I should have plenty of inventory space. Ooh. Got a nice sci-fi theme going now. Oh, we're gonna have to fix our tools here eventually. I'm trying to think what other movies. People have been in the scary movie craze recently, just because of Halloween and everything. And it's, I don't know. I personally like watching Halloween movies with, scary movies with other people. Movies in general, and I've started making that claim. Watching movies alone is fine. There's nothing wrong with watching movies alone, but that's just something that I didn't used to do, and still kind of don't. Every time I've gone to the movies, I've usually been with another person to share a movie, and that's just, it's a weird realization that I had because I was having this conversation with somebody in the last couple of days, that I just don't watch movies alone. And that's just not, I mean, yes, it's not weird, but that's just a thing that I've grown up doing, is I've never really watched, like, sure, I can watch, TV episodes and other stuff like that, like binge a show alone, but movies, like full-length movies, not one of the things I really do alone unless it's, educational purposes. So it's just, that was just an interesting realization of. And some people are not that way. I mean, some people are, easily, they can watch a movie alone. They'll rewatch one of their favorites or something else like that. So totally doable, totally plausible. No shame against it. It's just something that I actually noticed that I don't do on my own, is watch movies on my own. You know what I should do? I should do that. I should put out a border wall of that so I know exactly where to start it. And then we can test it by running a raid. So maybe once we fill in this hole, we'll run the leaves along the border wall so you can see what I'm trying to imply. And so far, so good. This stream actually has not suffered in quality, which has been really good. So I might actually switch to doing more nighttime streams, because it seems like the internet is way more stable for this, which is pretty good. The goal actually over here is to create a giant filtration system so that everything that falls in there automatically gets killed and separated into its parts. So that would be really nice to have that kind of separation, and that you don't have to actually worry about it and do that. Okay, look at that. Full on that guy. We're starting our second chest. Our second double chest. So let's fill up on oak leaves. Okay. And then we'll figure this out. I guess we can just run it. Run the race. Just so we know where the borders are. And we can check to make sure that they actually are 64 blocks away. Gonna need to destroy a lot more trees for this. But luckily, usually leaves are not the thing you want to get from trees. Usually you're worried about wood. So this will actually be a pretty easy thing to collect. I'll also have to test individually on my own time to see how well this mechanic works and whether or not the mobs actually spawn in the correct circle or if they're spawn outside of it. I think I noticed that you have to be standing next to the villager for this to work, and I might actually release a bit more of a helpful tutorial for people who are trying to do this on their own time. Oh, okay, didn't have to break that one. There's a drop-off point over here. I know this. So we're gonna do it this way. There's a dark oak forest. Maybe there's a mansion nearby we can exploit. Nope. Darkness. Hello, darkness. And water. And I don't have any dirt, but I can grab some from right here. Ooh. There we go, and there we go, and we're gonna need 2 more. Just grab a whole stack. Oh man. We're attacking the microphone, is what we're doing. Not really. We're not doing that. That's a lie. There it is. There's the torch. So we've got quite a bit of ways to go. But that might be something we do later on our own time. Hello. Hello. Almost done. Almost done with this. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fit. Oh, there it is. And now just the last little stretch. And it will be complete. It will be complete. Entirely complete. Hey, we're at 2 hours and the stream still looks good. Good, excellent. I was worried it was gonna die on me, but it did not. So let's not conclude up here, I guess. But that is up here. Okay, so over here, see, we've got this huge square, which should be 64 blocks away from this center point. So that 4 square in the middle, everything is coming out from that center point. So all of this is valid room for this to spawn. Raids and stuff and other stuff. So we got a little bit of a forest to clear out through the rest of here and fill that in with dirt. We've got a little bit of a mountain over there, which shouldn't take too long. We've got to level this out. I might keep this kind of centralized, but it's going to be a giant thing. I also don't know about this structure. I don't know how likely they are to spawn in here. That will be something that we'll test out eventually. But yes, so that's the land as it lays. Look at that. We did a lot of work. That whole thing is leveled. It used to be a whole map over there. That looks a lot more flat. We just need to get it up to that level of the leaves. And then we're just filling everything in with leaves. And then also designing this centered chamber so that the only thing that can spawn spawns there. And when they do spawn, then that's where they just automatically get thrown in. So we'll see. We'll have to play around with that mechanic a little bit. Also, these torches here are marking out chunk borders. So there's, that is fully contained in that one chunk, and then it should be exactly equal everywhere else. So I'll play around with that, mess around with that, but that's what we're doing there. Yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna call it, folks. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for the wonderful comments and chat. Very nice, very fun to engage and talk about physics and other related streams, things that we're talking about. Here, we're gonna hit it. There we go. Oh no, I should have just, there we go. Yes, we'll emphasize like that. So thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for joining this live stream. As always, we'll have live streams every single Sunday. Next week will also probably be about the same time. If this works well for you, let me know. If it doesn't, let me know as well. Oh, sad. It started raining. It's because I'm about to log in to the virtual reality and actually, leave this existence that is truly real. Well, with those words, all I have to say is thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side, and I'll see ya when I see ya. I guess it's back to the simulation for me. Thank you all for watching. Adios. Have a good night. Stay safe and have fun.